Welcome to the call. We have put a lot of effort into making this something that progresses over time and evolves into a tool that anybody can use to autoblog or to make automated content. And that's the biggest deal that we have. A lot of what we're doing in our other products roll up into this main product. This is our flagship. So in addition to what we released Friday, this what we're going to call local page builder, we also have mashups and the ability to do helpful content as its standalone page. Google is really wanting everybody to share content that people can use. And this is part of that campaign to give Google what they want and give the people what they want. We're going to talk a little bit about mashups. It's the ability to combine different content all into one and then mash it up. Traditionally, what we've done is just mash RSS feeds together. Now we can cross over, mash up AI content with RSS. We can replace content from YouTube with AI content. I mean, it's really interesting how this has all evolved. But the original idea for this local page actually came from Don Roberts and Daryl Osborne. Daryl teaches a course called Entity Elevation. And the local page is what they use to put their citation links on. They used another product. They weren't really happy with where the progress was on that. So they asked us, can we take a look and see if we can do better? Well, we already had the tools. It's just kind of rearranging it. And that's what Wayne did. He rearranged it. And I think we have a lot better product. And you talked about AI. We've been doing AI for almost a year and a half now, automated. And I don't know if anybody else is doing automated AI generation. We have an AI system coming out that we're writing with Peter Hatherley. We're going to be combining his tools with OpenAI, with our automation to actually generate really good content, not AI written content, but good, readable human content. We're excited about the future, but we got to get our steps in place. And this is one of the biggest feature add-ons that we've done is the local page. Let me get us started with what is a local page. So this is one of my custom domains that we have, and you could add custom domains into your own setup in RSSMasher. And I'm going to show you, here's another site that we're at, Topic Gate. This is one of the shared links, and this is my own custom site, SEO Masher pages. But they look the same, identical. The only outbound is the links. Now, if you'll notice, we got things at the bottom of the local pages. This is frequently asked questions coming from our helpful content. And we even have a how-to, and we got maps. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with your local pages. This is something basic. It's just a basic page. You got a link up here. Now, this is the XML version. So somebody can actually copy the XML version if you want to see what it looks like. Kind of a mess. And I'll just back up. What are people doing with it? They're embedding this. Daryl showed us some of the Google sites he's embedding this on, and they're on page 1 of Google for local merchants. He said this is just killing it. This is only part of the Google site, but he believes this is the main part to pick up Google links or crawling this anytime it goes onto a Google site. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about that later. But let's get started. You know what they look like. This is a local page. This is a local page. The difference between these two local pages, only really one thing, is the mashup that we put down below. These are the money hooks that we put. I'll show you how to do all that. Okay. I'm going to show you today how to do a basic setup and an advanced setup. On the basic setup, we're going to build that one page. It's just links. You call them citation links, referral links, whatever you want to call them, but they are your links and expert links underneath or in the middle or on top. So you can mix them all together. And they have the little thumbnails that go with it. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to set up the mash. I'm going to show you how to pull external feeds. This is just like your regular RSSMasher on how to build a mash. So if you've never seen it, start from scratch here. I'm going to show you how to set up image swaps. And then we're going to go into local tab settings. How do you set it up correctly? Build and activate. Okay. Then we're going to do an advanced setup where I'm going to show you how to build mashups to go with it and how to do keyword filters, how to do the money hooks, how to even clone it. Now, this is really important, especially if you get local businesses. I'm going to do one on bookkeeping. My wife is starting her bookkeeping business at home, and she wanted me to build a website. Well, we've got about a dozen surrounding cities that we can target that are within 5 to 10 miles of us. And so we're going to target those different cities. And we're just going to use the cloning feature and build out different Google sites with it. Okay. And then we'll build and activate. I've got some links I'll share with you that it really simplifies it. Is I take the sitemap XML and I convert it to a CSV, and then I get the links. I get my own static links that I want to put into the local. If you want plus codes, plus codes was established a while back to find people didn't have a physical address like a home or office or apartment. But this plus code, it's one more thing that schema is adding in. So we're always wanting to keep our schema current on these local pages. And then I'll even show you how to get lats and lawns on a Google Maps. Once you have your page, what do you do with it? Well, you want to embed it. You can do a backlink. You can do an embed, a full embed page. I'm just giving you some ideas. This is where we're dropping them in. We're building Notion docs and we're building Google sites. Notion docs are kind of interesting. You put everything in there from PDFs to videos to images to Airtable to anything that you use is designed to go into a Notion doc. So think of it as a Google Doc on steroids. Evernote, a lot of people are using this, and you can actually embed that local page straight into it. Evernote does have SEO linking, so keep that in mind too. So we're building things that have SEO content. Bubble Up is one of my favorite things. I have it up on a Chrome extension to build visual backlinks. And you can put the link on any social site to bring them back to the main local page. So let's get started. I'm going to build a basic page. I'm going to build a bookkeeper site, McKinney, Texas. I've done a couple of them for other demos, but I want to start from scratch. I'm going to use this as an example of how you can build local pages for your clients with multiple cities and Google Maps. Then I'm going to go into the advanced, and this is one of my Masher sites. And I'm building this not as necessarily as a local page, but as a citation page that I can use both with blogs and embedding in Google Sites and Notion docs. Let's get started with that. The basic page is going to look like this. Let's go over here to RSSMasher. Now, here is the website. I've got some pages in here. I think they're still maybe lorem ipsum. But when I build a website for anybody, I always start out with a blog. I want to drive traffic to it before I even start doing anything. So it looks like a content marketing blog before the pages are actually built. Meanwhile, the customer, my wife in this case, is deciding what she actually wants to do in bookkeeping. So I can't really build the pages until she knows the services that she wants to offer. So kind of interesting dynamic there. Always start with your blog. Fill up the content with blog. That's what RSSMasher is designed for. Feed it with RSS feeds, YouTube videos, or AI content. In this case, it's AI content. And then you got a content. So very basic web design. But let me show you how I want to start this. This is a regular homepage. I'm going to go back to the homepage. I'm going to show you a little trick is take my sitemap because I want the most recent days, recent content. Okay. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to come over here to see if I can do this here. This is the convert sitemap to CSV. And let's just do online file. I haven't tried this one yet. Let's try it out. Okay. So you can download it. And let's download it real quick. Pull it up, and there you go. Probably need to do the post. I'm using Yoast, so let's do this one. That's the one I really want. Okay, close that, come back here, and we're going to start over. Put this in there. Now I'm doing this because I want to find my static links. I want the most recent post, and it will convert it into CSV. We'll take a look at it here. Let's pull this over. Now you get to see my Excel spreadsheet. What I want is the links, and that's perfect. Take that column. I don't need that column, and I really don't need that first line. Delete that. So I've got the main site, and I've got a bunch of citation links. So these are all blog posts that we've done. We've got 278 blog posts. So I want to make this easy to render. So I'm just going to copy maybe the first 30. And you can put unlimited number of your links in there, but I'm going to just do 30 to start with. Now I'm going to come back over here to RSSMasher. We're ready to go.
And Damon, how did you create all those blog pages so quickly, all those posts?
I used Article Forge. I automated them. I used the RSSMasher tool to do it.
So again, when you're thinking about RSSMasher as a tool, what Damon just showed you is that he populated an entire local site with content that he created through RSSMasher and then it was pushed out. You could sort of do the same thing with the Article Forge itself using its bulk feature. And I think you could probably set it up so it would post automatically. But what you can do with RSSMasher that you can't do with Article Forge is add stuff in cleanly. So you can use, the token system to customize each one of these posts with some additional stuff in either the header or the footer of those posts that you can't do with any other tool that I'm aware of, at least. Here you can at least create all of the content. You can see the campaigns that Damon's run, and you've got a lot more control over what happens, and you have the ability to preview it in real time.
I've got 276 articles ready to go, and I think I've already sent them out. But this is how I build it, is I'll start with Article Forge. I can generate these 276 articles in about 13 hours to generate an entire, if you put 276 articles about content marketing on your website, you're an expert, especially if you add helpful content to the bottom of it. So anyway, this is how I created all the bookkeeping articles that quickly. Now, I'm going to go over here. We're going to build a local page. It's going to look very similar to this one, okay? I'm in RSSMasher, Manage Mashes. Come down here, click Add. You got to give it a name. And the way that I name them is I want to start out by letting me know this is just for my own business. This is a local. And I'm going to call it Bookkeeping Services, Dallas, Texas. That's all I need, but I want to make sure I've got it organized. So I'm going to put this in the Nina Nelson Bookkeeping folder, hit update. One thing I would suggest is if you're mixing RSS feeds from external sources, do one article from each feed. That way they kind of rotate through there. Just kind of the way that I like to set mine up. I'm going to come over here, and this is about bookkeeping, accounting. So maybe these are pre-built RSS feeds in here. You can put whatever RSS feeds you want right in here. And there's a lot of courses that I have inside of the training on how to find RSS feeds. But we have gone out and found a lot of the RSS feeds for you. So I'm going to just put in here business. Let's bring in some startup business. Small Biz Daily, that's a good one. I'm going to add that. HubSpot, there's one on small business trends. That's a good one. So these are interesting articles. What we try to have is trending RSS feeds with trending content in there. Start Your Business Mag. This is a magazine article. Let's do a couple more. Entrepreneurship Life. Okay, get some articles about taxes in here. TurboTax. They have some really good articles about tax Foundation, Anderson Advisors. There's another good one. Okay. Now, You'll click on add the feeds to Met. It's going to check everyone, make sure they're still good feeds. It will kick them out right here, like Anderson Advisors is no good anymore, so that's fine. I'm going to start out with 5. Now we're going to bring this content and we're going to mix it with our blog post. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, you can add YouTube feeds in here as well, Article Forge, but I'm going to skip over this for right now. I'm going to go website feed, come over here to local, turn it on. Okay, now this is the title that people will see. This is this title right here, and this is the description I'm about to show you how to make. So this is accounting services. I have Jasper turned on. I'm going to use Jasper to help me. Best services in the DFW area that include bookkeeping. Now watch the magic here of Jasper here. I really like that. I'm going to come up here. That looks pretty good. I've got Grammarly attached. So this is good. Now, I can take this and I can spin it. If you got Word AI integrated, you can spin it. Or you can use the spin rewriter if you've got the API club that's built in. Now I'm going to just spin it. Now what this does is every time it rebuilds, it will give you a spun version of this description box. When Google rereads it or indexes it, it says it's slightly different. And we give you that option. You can also do your own spin text if you want. Okay, so it's spin text ready. Looks nice. There's careers, accountants. Now these are just tags. And I'll show you where they are on the page. They're down here at the very bottom, just tags. I'm just going to copy these tags right here and come back into RSSMasher, and I'll just paste the tags in there. I've got the phone number. Everything's ready to go. Right now, we have 3 templates you can use. The one with the footer, this is the one that you're going to see most often. This is the footer at the bottom. But we have one where the tags and everything are on the right, but then you have a lot of white space. That is this local template sidebar. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what this is for when we're actually going to make a mashup with the local. Okay, we're going to start off with local template folder. Now, number of external URLs. We've added them all up here in the website feed. And let's go ahead and pull 20 of them. So every time it builds, it's going to go to all those RSS feeds and pull 20 new ones out. Where do you want these? Where do you want your static links to go? Well, I haven't put them in yet, but I want them to go in the top above the citation, the referral links right here, the externals. Okay. We also allow you to turn, do you want all the images on? These are the little thumbnails that you saw. Do you want them all on, all off, or do you want just your statics, or do you want the external images? I'm going to leave them off. We're going to build it. I'll show you how to adjust it. Now, this is the description link, kind of like Twitter is, you know, however long your character base is. I'm going to keep them maybe, let's do 140. Okay. Custom domain. SEO Masher, that belongs to me. Topic Gate Trusted List is a shared one. So I'm going to go with Topic Gate to start with. Okay. And override mash. This is the important one, is how often do you want to rebuild this page? Well, if you leave it to 0, if you put that on there, it's going to rebuild based on your current settings, whether you have an agency account, standard, or pro. But think in terms of Google will really only crawl your site at the most is probably 2 or 3 times a week. More than likely, it's going to crawl less than every 7 days. So I'm just going to put it at, let's go 7 days in between each build. Now, if you want to put a map on here, that's how you do it. You check that.
I'm just going to do a quick timeout here for you.
Okay.
What he just showed you, the rebuilding means that even though the output of this is essentially a static HTML page, this system is going to rebuild the entire page with fresh content on whatever schedule you set it for. All right. So there's a default schedule that's based upon what level of RSSMasher you've got, or you can override it in this. Everybody's, I think, pretty used to the idea of you build a page to put your citations in, put some content in, and send it out someplace. Say you've done a complex page in Money Robot or SEO Autopilot or something. Or you're building stuff and you're putting it out into Web 2.0. So you're putting it onto a Tumblr or a blogger or something. So once you put it out there, that's it. It's done. I mean, you can embed dynamic elements, but basically once you've done it, for all time. What this does is take that same sort of a content, and now it is going to recreate the content on a regular basis so that it always has some degree of recency. One of the things that people miss, I think, in SEO is this huge bias towards recency and frequency that Google has. That's why stuff that is newsy generally over time is going to rank better than stuff that's static. Of course, you've got legacy static stuff that has a lot of authority or a lot of inbound links or citations that may be strong. But if you're just starting from scratch, which we're basically all doing that with new projects, that frequency and recency bias is really important. And so that's what Google has been telling us very explicitly, but also implicitly, is that fresh content is a ranking factor, right? Well, this is going to give what your efforts freshness. It's going to give you frequency and recency all of the time. And it's going to do it on autopilot. You're going to set it up once, and then you're never going to have to come back to it, but it's always going to be refreshed with new content. And if you build it with a little bit of foresight, it's going to be authoritative content all of the time. So sorry to interrupt you, Damon, but that one point, this was the thing that was like screaming, this solves a huge problem. It solves a pain point. And this is really a fantastic way to do this, because it means that all the tier ones that you build now can have this built into it. Whereas before, your tier one content was essentially fixed for all time. Now you've got something that is going to be dynamic, and it's just going to really increase the value of your tier one content. This is the easiest, most straightforward way to do this that I've ever seen. And you've got the ability to put in rotating content using the money hooks in this, so that you could even keep fresh links going into this for all time. It's just mind-blowing what this could represent to somebody. And it also represents, something that is very unique that you could sell to a client as well. So that's not really my business, but I know a lot of folks that are in my group really are agency folks, really focused on local SEO. This is really amazing stuff. I just had to interject because this was really kind of a path-breaking innovation that they put into this.
Well, and what Google does will index your site, but if they notice that pages are constantly changing, keep that in mind, constantly changing and refreshing the same URL, their indexing system is designed to come back and revisit that page more often. That's why Google News sites are really popular. That one home page or that one landing page is always being refreshed with current news. That's why booster pages are popular. Same URL, but new content in fact, on booster pages, it's every single hour, new content's coming in. So this is how you decide, how often do you want to refresh? If you leave it 0, it's going to disable the refreshing. If you don't have anything in there at all, it's going to default to your agency. Agency will update every 2 hours. Pro is every 6 hours. Standard is once a day. I'm going to force it to do 7. I'm going to leave off the map. We're going to build it real quick. I'm going to hit update. Okay. So now I've got all the background. Now I need to go over and grab those links again. So I'm going to hop back over here, grab those links, and I'm going to post them right here. Now you can do a CSV upload. Very easy. I could have just taken that spreadsheet and uploaded everything, which that would have been, I think, 218 links. I want this to be a quick render instead of a long render. So we got about 30 in there. I'm going to add them to the local mash. These are considered your statics. Now, they don't have an image with them or a title or description. So you got to do one more step. Come down here and get data for all the rows. You can put tier 1s and tier 2 content in here on your statics. Just add them straight from up here if you want. But think in terms of you want them to have a title, you want a description, want an image URL with them. So it's still loading. But what it's doing, it's going back to each one of these articles. It's pulling the title, the description, and the image, and it's going to resize it automatically when we do a render. We'll let it load. There we go. So you have a title, description, image URL. Now, if you want to change any of this, you highlight it and you can change it. That's how easy it is to change. And then click off of it. And what does a bookkeeper do? Tips for bookkeeping, which you can use in Dallas. Okay. You can customize these titles as well. Now, I am ready to build. Like I said, this is the basic. So I'm going to come up and I need to make this screen smaller. I'll click. I'm going to hit build and preview web. I did not turn on the images. So you'll see none of them are turned on. Once you get to the bottom, now we're pulling in RSS feeds. I can hover over any of these. It's going to go into HubSpot. Come up here, and this is probably going into Nita Nelson. Let's go back to local. We're going to play around with the tab settings. I'm just going to turn static images only, and let's mix them up so we can see what it does. I'm going to do a scatter pattern. So it's going to be one static, one external, one static, one external. Hit update. Okay. And now I'm going to come back over here. While we're doing this, I'll just make this 10. Make it render maybe a little bit easier, quicker. Come back over here to build. And I want y'all to learn to play with this build button, because you can get different looks every time you hit the build if you're changing things around. Okay. There's the statics. You see, they all have images in there. I'm back over here. I'm going to come into local. I'm going to show you on image swaps. But before I do that, I'm going to go into local and let's turn on, let's put the images all on. I hit update again. Come back to build. This is how Wayne and I build this. We just kind of play around with it, and we've made it so you can play around with it and set it correctly. Let's preview web. Okay. You see, some of these, we're able to pull the images. Some of them don't have images. These are the RSS feeds that we're pulling in. Some of them have really bad images, and ours look really nice. These are all statics. They're all coming from our blog post. Okay. If your local client sees this, he may not be very impressed. So let's impress your client. I'm going to put images. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to do image packs. Now, you have a bunch of image packs you can select in your marketplace. I've loaded all the image packs in. They're all free. And let's do, I'm going to put them in order. You can either randomize how they're pulled from the data pack. I'll just put them in order. So they're just going to go image 1, 2, 3, and 4. Image replacement. You got to turn this on. Let's put it on first image. That's what you need right there. And I'm going to tag this. Add a featured image to text-only articles. Well, this is actually going to replace all images on your RSS feed list. So I'm going to hit update. And you can screen copy this. This is the setting that you'll use. And I'm going to come back over here to local. I don't need to change anything on local, but we're not going to be swapping out these images. Now, if you'll notice, I've got a bad image right there. So I can either put a new image right in here, In fact, let's do this. So I'm just going to copy, let's copy the image, come up here and place it right in there. And I'm going to hit update. Okay. You can put whatever image. You can go out to Canva. You can anywhere where you can get an image. Clickster, even on your Amazon. You can even pull it out of your media of your WordPress. Okay. Now let's hit build. And the cool thing, if you're building this for a local client, you can pre-build it. You can pull his sitemap, put his links in, do your own RSS feed links, and you have a page that you could sell to them, or a service you could sell to them. Okay, so accounting services in Dallas. And hopefully you're watching this. This description is changing the whole time. Here's business owners. This looks really nice going through here. You can't tell which ones are ours and which ones are the RSS feed links in here. Very, very nice setup right here. Now, this link right here can be used as an embed link, or we even give you the iframe embed right here. If you want to see the preview XML, which is the RSS feed, there it is. There's all the channel. We're adding more schema in here that will have your GMAP information. This page you can do a lot with. And as we talked about earlier, here's what we use for is, come back over here. I'm going to embed it in a Google site. I'm going to put it in a Google Doc as a backlink. I'm going to put that same URL in a Notion doc in Evernote. Then I'm going to put the link itself in a bubble roll. Now, how do you do this? Bottom of blog post. So we're going to talk about that next. So that's how you build your local page. Let's do one more thing while we're in here. Before we start doing hooks and everything else on the mashups, I'm going to come down here and we're going to turn on the map. And it's going to give you the lads, lawns, place, and name. So I'm going to bring up Google Maps. And let's just do, here's the Regis. This is the office I'm in. So I'm going to hover over this site right here. Hit the right mouse button, and there's the lat and long. So I'm going to copy that by hitting the left mouse button. A little trick I'm giving you on this one today. Okay, now I'm going to put in the lat, Control V, and I'll just copy the same thing. Now, what I'm doing is just taking that from the comma out, delete that, and then I'm going to delete this first part here. Okay, there's my lat and long, and I'll just put in here book and region. I'm going to put McKinney, Texas, and plus code. I don't have a plus code, so I'll just come over here, plus code, and I've got the link in the, I'll drop in later. Find your code, and I've got the lat and long there. There's the plus code. So while you still have it in your clipboard, just go ahead and grab your plus code. Okay, and I want to show it on the map. I'm going to show this information. Okay, hit update. It's done. Come back over here to build. Okay, accounting services. We spun the description. We have links in here. We're carrying the links in there. This is our statics in there. Looks really nice. And here's a Google map. Now, this gets embedded perfectly whenever you go into a Google site. The map comes up within the iframe embed. Very, very nice effect there. Okay. Let me show you what we were talking about earlier was how do you get the stuff down at the bottom? How do you get these frequently asked questions to show up? Let's go into the more advanced setups here. When you're ready, when you're happy with this build, and you notice I've hit it quite a few times, and we've just been playing around with the local. Hit finish and activate, and it's live. It makes that page live after that. Okay. I'm back here. We've got image swaps. Let's come in and put some helpful content in here. This is the frequently asked questions. I'm going to come out. I've got a helpful content called bookkeeping tips. Now, the way that we do helpful content, we'll load it with a bunch of questions, a bunch of stats and links, and several how-tos. Our system will automatically rotate those questions. They'll even spin them if you have them in spin text. They'll vary the number of sites that it posts, vary the number of links, and they rotate them around also. And it will only select one how-to. So every time it posts this bookkeeping tip, it will be completely different. So I'm just going to add it in there. Number of articles. This is not used on this feature, but this is. You've got to turn it into a money hook. Okay, right here. Now I'm going to come over to Article Forge. I've got some articles about bookkeeping. So we're going to play around with this too. And we'll come down here to bookkeeping tips. These are Article Forge. I think I've got 200 bookkeeping tips in here. They're all 500-word articles. They have an image. They have a video with it. I'm going to click Add to Mash. Now, I can also add a second one if I wanted to. Let's see if I'll put in logo design tips. Now, I'm going to turn the money hook on. Okay. You can even do listicles. I don't think I have one for bookkeeping yet. I have just bushcraft, but they operate the same way. So if I did, this is how to increase your home curbs appeal. This is a listicle. I would add it as a money hook right here. Okay. Now you still have to come over here to money hooks. We've got to tell it how to configure everything. So I'm going to go, I want to put a helpful content at the bottom. I'm going to hit update. Come over here to build. Now it's randomizing the helpful content, selecting the questions, spinning them, and it's going to put it at the bottom. Okay. Different descriptions been spun. We have different feeds coming in here. We have our statics. The statics never change unless you remove them and add new ones. Frequently asked questions. 1, 2, 3. It brought in 3 questions for us. Now, what this does, Google's seeing this. It's saying, hey, this is kind of helpful information. So this page possibly could get ranked, but what it really does is helps your embed, because you're giving customers what they're wanting. You're answering questions. You're providing stats for them, external links. And even here's a how-to guide. There's our Google map. Okay. Really, really neat. We're using one mashup. Now I'm going to do something I like doing here is I'm going to put the Article Forge above it. Come down here to Article Forge. It's going to pull everything that's marked as money hooks over here. Insert token. Now I'm putting this before the content. Okay. This is the other one is helpful content. It's below the content and hit update. Now I'm going to come over here to build. Okay. Title, spun description. And here, creating a logo with Wix. Now that doesn't really apply to this bookkeeping service, so I may just take that Article Forge campaign out. There's a video. Here's the links below. And you go, oh, Damon, you need more spacing in there. Let me show you how I'll do it. And then below that, we even have frequently asked questions. And below that, we have a GMAP. Okay. So let's come back over here. Again, we're just kind of playing around. We haven't even activated it yet. Come back into local. Oh, I'm going to come back over to Article Forge. I'm going to take this out completely. I don't need it. Now you can either delete it completely or just turn off the money. I'm going to delete it completely. I'm just going to use this campaign, bookkeeping tips. Okay. Now I'm going to come back over to hooks, and you said I needed a little bit more space. I'm going to just hit the enter. Okay. And I'm going to put resources. Let's change that, and let's make it bump it up in size, maybe 18 point. And let's give it a heading 2, maybe. I don't want that Article Forge in that heading 2, so that back in there. Give that a little bit more spacing. We still have helpful content down here, and we're going to hit update. Now, if you have tokens, we have custom tokens in here. You could put extra stuff in here. So I'm just so we know we can put Amazon, I'll put Amazon below all this. So you can build a custom tokens to go on the bottom of your helpful content. Trail cameras, they don't really apply, but that's okay. Let's give that an extra space. Maybe we even put a line coming through there. This is totally up to you how you design your own local page. If you have a client, he may want his ad down at the bottom or some type of brand logo. Come back over here to build and preview web. Okay, what GAP stands for? This is abbreviation finder. This is pretty good. It has a video. We have the resource. I put this in, resources that we use. I think this was an H2. I made it big. This looks nice. So you can give it a custom title. Even if you don't have Article Forge up here, you can give it your own custom title in there. Again, we come down here. There's that line, frequently asked questions, and there we go. Then we have a Google map. But before that, here is our best trail cams. I don't know why that's showing, but it's supposed to spin that as well, but it's probably because my token is messed up. Now we have this. Looks great. So I'm going to come back. Let's turn off that bottom one for trail camera. We don't need that. Okay. And I hit update. Okay, that's how you do a local page. Let's build it one more time. I've taken out the trail cam and we'll go ahead and hit build. So we're going to have Article Forge, our resources that we use, the links, and then we're going to have frequently asked questions, and then we're going to have a GMAP. And that's great. Okay, accounting services in Dallas, Texas. Perfect. Simple recording for small business owners. This looks really nice coming down here. There's a video, resources that we use, frequently asked questions, how to, and there's your map. There's the tags. Okay, really nice.
One quick question.
Yes.
If we spin the title or the description on the page, does that mean every time that page is rebuilt or refreshed, it's going to give us a new spun version of it?
Yeah. So every time this is built, it will spin this description, or you could do title up here. But let me show you the trick to it here. I'm going to go ahead and finish and activate. Now this is a live site, and this is live here. Now, if you'll notice, we have that number right there. We have the domain, the number, and then we have a category and a subcategory. That number is my member ID. So Gieran's, his category and subcategories will never cross over on the shared site. If we have somebody that's just putting out junk, we can chop it off, basically, but it won't affect yours on a shared domain. That's the beauty about how we're doing this domain structure, okay? So I'm going to come back over here. One more thing I want to show you on this one. Well, I'll show you on the clone. Okay, so we're in Dallas, but we really want to do Plano, or let's do Frisco. We'll do clone. I'll clone it. Okay, now we have Frisco. Come up and hit edit, and just this is my version. Keep track of Frisco. Come down here and hit update. Now I'm going to come over here to local. I've got to change that to Frisco, Texas, and can change. I think everything's looking good there, but I can spec that out with Frisco, and I'm going to come in, just add a tag in here, serving Frisco. Okay, come down here, region. And you can change the region on your GMAP if you wanted. You can even give it a different map point there if you wanted. You can come in here and go, okay, I want to change that title to Frisco. Very flexible on how you do things. Really nice way to do it. And always make sure you click off once you make a change. And that looks good. I'll just hit update.
Imagine for a second, you've got a very powerful expired domain or a domain that you've built that has a lot of authority. Now you could actually include these local pages as a subdomain for that domain. So you can actually set this up. So imagine you've got a site that is, I'm trying to think of something. I'll go with dog training. So imagine you've got a very powerful dog training site. Now you could create these local pages as a subdomain, your own domain, okay? You could create these local pages as a directory. So now you can sell or you can run ads against a national set of local pages built as a subdomain to your powerful domain. Or you've got, say, in my case, you've got a news network. And then you could take these local pages and build them out as a directory of local page sites as subdomains to a news directory someplace. And obviously you can run AdSense against that, but you could also just sell it as a directory piece. It's not just, it's not within just the narrowest conception of this. Think about all the ways that you could use these pages. And again, these pages are going to be dynamic. They're going to include authority content. They could include your YouTube channel. There's just a zillion ways that you could use this. It's just mind-boggling, the possibilities here. I'm struggling to find the right set of words, but it is a new way of doing dynamic content in a way that I've not seen before. So again, this is, if you think it through, at a 90-degree angle to what you're seeing, you can see the tremendous amount of possibilities here.
I'm going to finish this one up I need something in Frisco. So I know this is Frisco city limits. So I'm going to get a Latin long off this, right click, left click, copied over, come over here, and we'll take out that. And we'll come over here, paste that in. And if you remember, I've got to delete everything past the comma. And come down here, paste that in, and delete everything in front of that. Okay. Now I'm going to hit update. Now I can come back and redo my plus code if I wanted. And I'm just going to leave it there for right now. But now we have a new map and we've got Frisco. We got build and preview web. Okay. And so accounting services, Frisco, resources used, and map. Did you notice something missing? It's our money hooks. We turn them off automatically when you do a clone. So to turn them back on, you simply go there, click, come back to helpful content, click, and go to money hooks, make sure they're still there. Resources, helpful content, hit update. We do this intentionally because you may have content that is for Frisco, but you may want something for Dallas. So that's how you turn them back on. You just turn on the checkbox, toggle them back on. So hit build and preview web. Okay, accounting services in Frisco. There's our article forge. How to avoid a common bookkeeping mistake. So people could actually find this if we start ranking how to avoid a common bookkeeping mistake. YouTube, resources we use, our citation links. Looks like the frequently asked questions didn't get toggled correctly. Anyway, you see how, we had a Dallas, we created a Frisco, and we can come in and just hit the clone button all day long, hit finish and activate, and that's ready to go. Now, I'm going to show you real quick how you would apply this. Here's the direct links for these locals. I'm going to come over here to Google Sites. Okay. And this is bookkeeping services, McKinney. Let's just call it Frisco. Frisco, Texas. I'm going to delete this and actually let's just delete that section there. So I have an address and a quick note about and a project page. And you can, Google Sites is very easy to maneuver things around. So I'm going to put an embed in there. Now, this is where you want to put your link. So accounting services in Frisco, copy that link, or I could copy that link right there, the link address, come over here and paste it in. Okay, that's the change I want to make. But I want to do the whole page, not a preview. And there we go. Now, the beauty about this is it's Google Sites. You can make this bigger if you want. So I'm going to make the iframe a little bit bigger so they can at least see there's an article down here. Looks really nice. I'm going to hit publish. And hit publish. Okay, hit view, copy link. Let's just go over here to new incognito window and we'll paste it in. And there we go. Topic gate, accounting services in Frisco. This is how easy to get this activated. Resources we use and the map down below looks beautiful. Okay, this is how to do a local. This is these local pages. They're easy to make. And every 7 days, this is going to get updated based on my settings. We'll spin the description. Your statics will remain the same, but we're going to put a different article in here. So it's going to be a different article forge in here. Your static links will remain. So anything pointing to Nita Nelson will stay the same, but all these other ones, they're going to get rotated out and we put new, fresh links in there. Okay. Just want to show you what that looks like. This is just a standard Google site. It's free. Everybody gets them. You can make as many as you want. Okay, so we've kind of got over the sitemap trick, the XML converter. But what if we don't have local pages? What if we have regular blogs? What if we have, a client that has a product that we want to sell, but they do want the blogs to be promoted every time you're posting a new blog? So how do you cross-link these? Well, you can do that inside of WordPress. You can use pretty links. You can do all types of cross-referencing, but it's only a few posts that you can do it with. What if you could put this at the bottom of every single blog post that you make? I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. Bushcraft tips. This is one of my Masher sites that I'm using. And I mean, you could use WordPress. I'm sure you can use Yive sites. I guess I haven't used those. But I've got ads in there. I've got Google AdSense, really nice. These are very current articles. So what I would do is, let's do the sitemap trick again, sitemap.xml. There we go. We'll copy that and come over here to the XML converter. And I'm just going to paste that in there. So let's take a look at this spreadsheet. I got 86 since I published last. Okay, pretty cool. I'm going to get rid of that, delete, and here's my link at the very beginning. I kind of like that little free page there. So this is really nice right here. But I don't want us to all sit around waiting for 85 links to be built. So I'm just going to do the first 10. Now I'm going to hit File Save, and I'm saved it as a CSV. So now I'm going to come back over here to RSSMasher. I'm going to come down and say Add. And this is just my naming nomenclature, local. So I've got that. Come down here. I'm going to put it under Bushcraft Tips. Come down here. Hit update. Now you may have never seen this before. I'm really excited about this. So I'm going to come over to website feed, and of course it's none of these are. It sometimes this happens. If it does, just hit delete. It's the caching in there. So I'm going to come up here to survival. I think I've got the category hobbies, survival tips. There we go. And I'm get rid of all that. I don't need those business ones in here. And survival tips. So I'm just going to select a few of them. Survival Sullivan is a great feed. Put in there outdoor life. And I'm just going to pull 3 of them here off the grid. That's a great bushcraft site. Okay, add it to the feed. Now, what I didn't show you earlier was you can do YouTube channels if you wanted to put a YouTube channel there. Outdoor life. Okay, we got 2 of them. But I like coming over here to YouTube search because we're going to pull the most popular videos out of YouTube. And I'm going to go bushcraft. I'm going to hit update. So now I'm going to have videos and RSS feeds. You can do G sites if you got Google Sites. This is coming soon. Probably next week we'll have this available. And now I'm going to come over here to local. Convert to a local. And let's go ahead. I don't need helpful content because I can put, I'm going to put it at the bottom of a blog post that I'm building inside of RSSMasher. So I'm going to use the mashup on the blog post itself. But what I want is just the citation links. So I'm going to put in here bushcraft tips. And this is, I'll just put not applicable because we're not going to pull the title and description on this one template. Come down here, and I guess I could put anything in here. Oops. Survivalist. It's not running as fast as my brain is thinking here. Okay, camping. That's fine. And I could put in whatever in here. I'm just going to put some junk because we're not going to even see that, but I want to make sure it's not shown. So here's the secret. I'm going to use this one down here. This is so that you can make it into a money hook later. Okay. So local items only, HTML grid, number of external links. Let's pull 10 of those. Statics. Let's put our statics at the top. I'm going to turn all images on. Max description length. I'm just going to do 80 this time. Custom domain. I'll toss it in my own domain here. How often do I want to rebuild? Let's put it about every 2 days on this one because I'm going to be adding it to blog posts. So I want fresh content. In fact, every time it publishes, I want fresh content. Okay. I'm going to leave off map. I'm going to leave off the contact link. Okay. So now I'm going to hit update. Okay. Now I need my statics. So I'm going to come over here and go browse, downloads. I think that's the one.
I hope wheels are turning for folks watching this.
And we're going to hit upload. Okay, bushcraft tips. I got the right one. Okay, it's blank. What do? You click get data for all rows. Okay, perfect. Now, in this case, I do not want, I'm not going to have tags. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to use this one here. So what would you expect here is I'm not going to use any hooks or anything. I'm going to come over and go build. I'm building this for a blog post. The one thing I might need is I might need to put image swaps in there for the RSS feeds. Because it's pulling YouTube search, we go out and we've got hundreds of proxies that we're using to do the YouTube search. So we're actually searching YouTube right now, finding the most popular videos about bushcraft tips. So whenever you're using the YouTube search, it is going to take a little bit longer. I hit preview. Okay. Now notice I don't have any title, no description, and no footers at the bottom. Okay. Now, some of this is off grid. I'm seeing it. I know I've got some YouTubes in here, probably. Well, this time it didn't pull any of the YouTubes. Okay. This is good. This is real good. Bushcraft tips. All my bushcraft tips are on the top. So I want to make sure I'm going to come back here. Mash, strip out hyperlinks, embed YouTube content. I need that turned on because we're using YouTube. And then I'm just going to check all 4 of these boxes real quick. Hit update.
Pro tip, every time you set up a mash, go ahead and click the YouTube stuff, even if when you're setting up the mash, you're not planning to use it, it's there when you're ready to go later. I've not yet found a reason not to always check the embed YouTube contents.
And sometimes people have YouTube embeds in their blog posts. We swap out the player frame with the one that's best suited for resizing and it's mobile responsive. So they may have an old YouTube player. We update it with the new YouTube player. So just a little tip there. Okay. Now, I'm going to come over here to build. See if I can pull some YouTubes out of it also. Now, if you'll notice right here on this is my custom domain. So I don't have a member ID in there. This is a properly formatted custom domain right here. SEO Masher, Survivalist, Camping. This is the MASH ID, and then this is the title that we're putting, Bushcraft Tips.
And that's all automatic, right?
Yes.
You just add the domain to RSSMasher, and it's in the integrations menu over there.
Yeah.
And this takes care of everything else.
And a trick on that,
on
I've got Namecheap. I've set the A record, and then I have a free Cloudflare account, and I just add it to Cloudflare, and that gets my SSL on there automatically. Very easy. We'll make a video on how to do it. But instead of, there's just one toggle, and I'll show you later on how to select it. So let's preview. Well, it hasn't finished loading yet, I don't think.
So while we're waiting for YouTube search to do its magic, this means that you've got a website that's being built on this custom domain that you don't need to worry about WordPress on. So you're not going to have to worry about managing WordPress, the hacks, the updates, all of the pain in the ass overhead that comes with dealing with WordPress. You're literally just going to buy the domain and then send it over to RSSMasher.
Yep. And this is what it looks like. It's SEO Masher. Can people actually get to this? We've made it so there's no follows on there. This is the trick here, is we don't want Google indexing this site, because then when it puts it in Google's site, it's going to have, hey, we found this somewhere else. We don't want Google to say that. So we're intentionally not doing anything. But there are people that are going to go, well, what is SEO Masher? Well, we give you the ability to make your own custom page there. So subscribe to our newsletter, discover the latest content. This is a Raza newsletter sign up. I have a privacy policy and disclaimer that Jasper helped me write. I put a little paragraph there, and Jasper helped me write that. So I have a custom page that if somebody's looking, Google's looking, Facebook is looking, or whatever, they can go, oh, he does have a privacy policy. It is just a landing page. Okay. Come back here. Still thinking a little bit. That's why we did this. Now, sometimes it seems to get hung up, so I'm just going to hit the refresh button over here. Come back into it. Looks like it's already built that, but I'm going to preview web. It's 6 wild berries. Guess it didn't finish. Let's go back into it and we'll see if we can get it to put the YouTubes in there. Go back to build. Now, when would you use this iframe here? Well, there are some sites, some of the older sites, that don't automatically do a iframe embed. So you would need to put your own iframe embed in there, and that's where this would come in. And I think you can even use this in like a Google Doc if you wanted to do a custom iframe. There we go. Okay, so we got Bushcraft Tips, Survival, Sullivan. It may just all be, but it's still just pulling RSS feeds. So we may have so much in the RSS feed content. So if you just want YouTube search, you can just come back over here and let's just turn these temporarily off. Let's force it. Come back over here to build. So we should be pulling YouTubes now. But anyway, it's gonna look the same, except you'll have YouTube videos down here. And the way that I can recognize YouTube videos is they generally have a black bar above, a black bar below, where they've resized the image. And that's kind of how you can tell. Plus, as you go over it, you can see the YouTube link. Okay, let's see if it worked this time. There we go. So all these are YouTube videos. Very nice. So you have some YouTube videos. These are the most popular trending searches on bushcraft tips. So I'm going to pull the power of these titles and descriptions that YouTube is deemed as worthy, and I'm putting them into my own site. Okay, now we're ready to go. I'm going to hit finish and activate. Okay, here is, it's already 6616. Keep this in mind. This is what I need right here, 6616. So I'm going to go into, let's see if I got a site already up. Bushcraft. Okay, here we go. Bushcraft camp. I may have to just clone this because I've used all my Article Forge up. So I'm going to clone it. This is how I get to restart an Article Forge, is just clone it. I'm going to hit edit. And I'll just leave that name the same. Bushcraft tips, 1 feet at a time, one time, hit update. Okay, now I have Article Forge. Let's see, no feeds, no YouTubes, no YouTube trends. So I'm going to turn these on, do 5 each. Okay, so Article Forge is going to be my content this time. I'm not going to use them as money hook. This is the article itself. So let's see what it looks like with nothing else on it. Build. Okay, here's what these are. Article Forge. Nice image right there. Bushcraft campsite essentials. Essentials, choosing a site, finding a site. Very nice. This is Article Forge, 500 word setting. What activities should you do in a bushcraft campsite? Very, very nice. Really like this. Okay. So I've got quite a few articles in here. And this is actually, I think I even have a listicle in here. Yep, I do. So I'm going to take this listicle out right. Actually, I'll make it a money hook. So you can use this as a regular article, which you'll see right here. This is a regular article that would post as a listicle, but now I'm going to turn it into a money hook if I need it. Okay, so I'll just leave that there. Random from, let's say, 2 to maybe 4. So I'm going to randomize my listicle to either have anywhere from 2 items to 4 items. And you can come over here and go, I want numbers. I want sometimes numbers. Let's do sometimes numbers. Okay. Now, remember the local was 6616. That's the MASH ID. So I'm going to come over here to hooks. And we have instructions of how to do this. So we're going to take that local MASH, copy it, take out listicle right now. I'm going to do local MASH and come over here to the XXX, and I'm going to do 6616. Hit update. And guys, this is the first time I've actually seen this work on our live site. I've seen them on the testing site. So let's see if it works. So we have Article Forge as the main post, and we're going to have listicles, and not listicles. We're going to have these local pages below. Let's see, Bushcraft Campsite Essentials. Perfect. Okay, look at that. This is going to go at the bottom of every blog post. What activities should you do at a bush campsite? There you go, right there. So we've just made a listicle, a mashup. But how do you use this? What would you do with it? Well, it's going to go in your WordPress as an HTML. It's not going in as an iframe. So one, Google is going to read it, and they're not going to treat it as iframe content. They'll treat it as this is part of the page. Now, we don't update your WordPress page. You just, when you paste this in, you're pasting this content in, it will never be updated. But it is good because you still have crossover links. You could put whatever links you want in here. Now let's go in here to the hooks, and we have that in there, but let's put in here resources we recommend. That would be a good way to put it. Okay, now come back over, make this a heading 2. There we go. And let's give it maybe a little bit of spacing. Let's go back to normal text, and I'll just put this big long line here. I guess I could use code and do horizontal line and update, and let's rebuild it. Okay, article forge. Really nice in here. In fact, I've got some anchor text tokens in there. Okay, resources we recommend. Maybe I'll need an extra couple line breaks in there, but we just made a little heading for it. Resources we recommend. And it will be properly formatted once it hits your WordPress or your Masher site. So you've just added a bunch of resources at the bottom of every single page that you're publishing. Darren, did you know you could do that?
I had thought about doing something similar, so
okay,
hadn't executed yet.
Okay, so this is really nice. You could still use your helpful content. So let's see if helpful content, we don't have anything right now, but I do have bushcraft skills. I want to add that in there. Okay, use as a money hook. So let's come over here to money hooks, and I don't think I have YouTube on. Let's do money hooks, and I needed an extra line break in there, so I'm going to come over here and let's insert the token helpful content. Just reposition that. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I think it will work. Take that extra line break out, hit update, and we're good to go. Hit build. And this is, you know, you're seeing me hit build, try out different things, hit build. This is how we do it. Now, once you're done, finish and activate, you should never have to come into this Mash ever again. So I'm going to hit preview web. Looks really nice. There's the video. There's the line break. Frequently asked questions. Here we go. Okay, we got that in there. Links, how-tos, resources we recommend. Really, really nice. Now I could put a listicle under this if I wanted to. That's the power of this mashup that we're doing. Okay, come back over here. And I'm going to come below that. And I'm going to drop in a listicle. Insert token, maybe a couple extra spaces in there. Preview web. Okay, article forge, really nice article. Video, frequently asked questions. How-tos, resources we recommend. 2 of the best bushcraft tools you'll ever need. So remember, we did anywhere from 2 to 4. So we have rope and we have a fire starter. Okay, next article, what activities? Okay, nice article forge, frequently asked questions. Now these are different. We're rotating these out. We've got 3 in there, statistics, external links, how-to. Notice we're rotating the how-tos also. Resources. 4, the top 4 bushcraft tools. We have a first aid kit, maps, flashlight, and rope cordage. Okay, so every time this is posted, you're going to get a different listicle at the bottom of your page. You're going to get the same pages in here on the resources. You're going to get different frequently asked questions. So that's the power of the mashup. We've just we've taken a 500-word article and we've made it probably a 5,000-word article with all this extra content. But the extra content is important because we're answering questions that people have on their mind. So when they even get down to the bottom, they go, well, what what is the best bushcraft knife? And so we kind of talk about that. What are the basics of the skills? So we put questions that are in the people's mind is how we kind of build our helpful content. Okay. I think that's kind of, now once I'm done, I'm going to hit finish and activate. Now I can take this right here and I can come across to schedule, manage schedules, and I'm going to click add. Okay. And let's pull it from bushcraft tips. I'm going to do this one. Put a name. I can even put in here local HC LST. Okay. And 1 post per day. That sounds good. Let's copy that. Make sure it goes back into the right category here. Bushcraft tips. Okay. I am set up, ready to go. Hit update. And I want to send to my Masher site. Go to bushcraft tips and let's see. I'm going to put this in what is bushcraft this time. And I'm going to do a random author. Use first image, yes. Upload all images. Exclude first image from post. I'm going to keep that. Rightly, I'm going to put 2 smart tags. I'm part of the API club. No spinning here. I'll use Omega Indexer. I'm going to silo the category, and I'm going to do a 16 by 9. I'm using the banner bearer here. Okay, part of the API club. Okay, I'm all done, but I'm not really stopping right here. I'm going to go ahead and send it to booster pages. Same time. Survival, camping, that's good. I'm going to point it back to the Masher site and go ahead and hit it with Omega Indexer. Okay, now, still not stopping. I got Masher sites. I've got Quick View News is kind of my link pin, and cooking. I don't think I have survivalist in here, so I'm going to put it under life hacks. Oh. Okay, point it back to the Masher site, and I don't need anything else. It's all done. I'll hit it with Omega Indexer and hit update. Okay, and I can keep on going. I've got some Twitter sites I can send it to, and I've got caveman plans for my survivalist, Masher sites, and hit update. Okay. So in addition to sending it to Masher sites, I've just built 3 backlinks plus indexed it to all 4 sites at the same time. This is how you syndicate your content. Update. Now I've got to turn it on. That's got to make sure it's active and then hit finish. Okay. So this is, it has local. It's going to have all these. And I know I've got 200 plus articles. So it's going to regenerate them and send them all back through. Looks really nice. Frequently asked questions, resources, listicles. And then we go to the next article. Okay. I'm about done here. Okay. Any questions? In the future, you can use G Sheets. We'll have additional training when you can use G Sheets. But for right now, is use your website feeds, use your YouTube search, add your money hooks. You know, you saw how we put articles above the content. You can even put articles below your local list. Listicles, same way. You can go top or bottom, same with helpful content. And we use image swaps. The thing I didn't show you is keyword filters. This will filter your website feeds. So I don't want anything in this about, let's say Madonna, just thinking out loud. But that would mean, well, I don't want anything about Madonna in my news feed.
Seems awfully unfair.
Yeah. But I want everything about maybe Biden. So I would slant the news this way. So this is going to filter your website feeds. Okay. If you don't want it filtering at all, just remove them. We went over local, we went over hooks. Anchor text, you can put in anchor text so it will replace words. I'm not going to use it, but you can do custom anchor text, or you can do, so anytime you see the word White House, I want to replace it with, yes, I think it's what, whitehouse.org or something like that, or .gov.
.gov, yeah.
So I want to replace.
And really, and what you would probably do is, if you were doing this, you would go ahead and set up, multiple URLs that spend tags there, or really limit the possible occurrences. Otherwise, you get the littered, get your content littered with stuff.
And what you can do, the possible occurrences there, is only replace it one time.
Yeah.
And that's probably the better way of doing it. But we have a list, you can do a complete custom token list if you wanted to do that, and put it in. And you can upload it. We've got training on how to do that. Advanced, you probably won't ever use this for the local page builder. This is like it says, it is an advanced tab to remove, replace, or protect certain items. And it's great for blogging, but it's really has no application for the local. But local is, you've got a lot of options in here. Now, if you have, I've got a link in here. This link is null. It's not going anywhere. You can't click on it. It's just going to show up as a link here. Okay. Google will read it, but for somebody to use it, they have to copy it and then come over and paste it in to use it. Okay. But show you something in here. Sign up today. I'm getting rid of that newsletter. If you've got Jasper, or if you have Zim Writer, I've got both of them loaded. So let's see if I got, yeah, Zim Writer's loaded. So I'm going to highlight all this. Instead of spinning it, I'm going to highlight it. And I'm just going to put it down here. Okay. Now I'm going to take that section, highlight that new section, and hit Control-3, which is AI Writer for Windows. And it's going to rewrite this contact using OpenAI and Matt Zimmerman's magic stuff in there. Okay. It writes a lot of content in here, the top trending news. So what I would do, I want to make it my own spin text. I'm going to put that back up here, close out curly bracket, and I'll close out that curly bracket. Then I'm just going to delete everything down below. So I just used AI to actually write spin version. So if this is how I do spinning now, is I'm going to have either Jasper or ZimWriter rewrite it with OpenAI. And it actually sounds good. The top trending news stories in the US for the Consumer News Network are listed below. Stay up to date. Cool. This is great. Okay. So once you're done, you always hit update and you're ready to go. Now, I think I've answered all that. Now you can, remember, this is for adding it to your page. Well, guys, I'm pretty much done. I guess the last thing, I showed you a couple links and we'll placement ideas. Take the link, embed it, backlink it, just like that, and you can put it at the bottom of the post. Yeah. Really easy to do. We did our demo, we did the basic, we did the advanced, and I guess unless we have any more questions, that's the end of the call today.